G'day everyone, welcome back to the studio. Another exciting project. You can see I've got a mold of a chopping board or a cutting board, and I want to create a bit of a oceany theme because I'm so excited about the coasters that I did, and I will show them to you in a second. Look at that. Look at these guys. Took me 3 days to create these, but look at that. So this tray is not going to be the same, but I'm using the same sort of theme. So if you haven't seen this video, have a look down one video below and watch it. It's a really fun project. Look at that. Somebody's going to be very happy for Christmas. Alrighty. Back to it. So here I have the turquoise blue. I only need a little bit. I want it to be quite transparent. And normally I would use, I shouldn't have done it this way. I'm just going to pour this back in here because I totally forgot that I was mixing pigments instead of the tints and pastes, which you can mix in a big amount of resin. So just a tiny little bit, literally I'm just going to go bit by bit. And don't worry about the color in these, these are clean. It's just that I reuse these. So okay, so see, that is already pretty. Let me just try it over here. Okay, so it's not too bad. Let's see what happens. We'll put some more. I decided to use the actual pigments because these pigments are FDA approved, and the resin, the platinum super coat, is also FDA approved. So I can actually use this, or whoever gets it can use it for, to put food on. I think that might be a little bit too transparent now. Let me give it another go and just put a tiny little bit more in there. I don't want it too dark. I still want it to be pretty transparent. So now it's going to be a little bit trickier to mix this. But these are the things that you have to do. Okay. So this mold takes 400 milliliters. Can you believe it? So 300 milliliters is 10 ounce. Okay, so this is 400 milliliters. So it's extra. It's a big. It's it's taking quite a bit. This is sapphire blue. Now again, same thing, just a tiny little bit. I just want to create an ocean scene, and it's a bit hard to see the color because I've already got color in there. Oh, that was a bad idea. Just want to see what that looks like. So that's going to be further out. Alright, so that was the idea. And then add a tiny little bit of the turquoise blue to it. And it should change this color. Please do this. You can mix and match and do whatever you want. So this should turn it into, look at that, it's totally changed it. But I do want a little bit more of that, make it a bit deeper. If it doesn't work out, that's alright, because I've only got a tiny little bit of resin in here. I can always pour it out and mix it again. But I'm trying to make like a teal. I should have just grabbed a teal. I do have a dusty teal, but anyway, silly me. Let's see. Yes, that is the color that I want. So I've got some resin in here. I've just got sand, just some beach sand, and I'm just going to pour it right in there. And it's going to be pretty thick, but I don't mind. I want it to be thick, and now I'm just going to, it mixes real easy, see? And then a bit more resin. So that's going to be my beach. Okay. Right, so I think I want to pour some resin down first before my beach sand goes on there. I'm just going to pour a little bit down there. So I mixed about 225 milliliters of resin here. I don't know if I'm going to have enough. Anyway, because I want to put another layer on there. So in goes my sand first. And very sort of casually pour it down here, and I will use this cup to just sort of lean on the edge here, because I've got resin there, clear coat of resin on there. It's just pushing it out, so that's cool. You want it all the way to the edge. Doesn't really matter, because the next coat I can always add some more sand, and I actually will add more sand. It's saving on resin, and plus it just looks a little bit transparent to me. So I'm just gonna sprinkle some sand right on top, and you could do that straight away without. I'm just gonna get rid of this. I can't save this one, it's gonna be too gritty. Anywho, wipe my hands. And before I pour anything else, I want to go with this sand, and I have to go this way, guys, to go all the way up to the edge here. Sorry about my hand being in the way and you not being able to see what I'm doing, but here we go. That's going to soak up all of that resin. Now I can go this way so you can see. Just want it to sort of sit on top here. Okay, so now that I've done that, and now I've got some serious speedage going on. I've sped this video up 6 times the speed, I think. So anyway, because it just goes on and on and on. This it's got 3 layers or 3 parts to this, so you know it would just take too long. So I'm just pouring those colours down, and oh, look at that beautiful teal that I created with the blue sapphire and the turquoise blue. But the thing that I did wrong here was just putting down that clear. So that's why I'm going back and forth with my spoon and just making sure to mix it in, you know. And now I'm just using my little funnel that I made with paper, and just adding some more of the sand, which is just the beach sand, you know, that I've collected, filled my pocket with one day and brought it home because I had this in mind to do. So I didn't take too much, just a little bit, enough for my piece here. And now I am arranging my little shells. So some of them I want them to poke out a little bit, and some I want them to be, you know, submerged. And little pebbles as well that I got from the beach. Where the handle is of the cutting board, you can see a little shell and a little pearl that I popped into that shell. I love the way the pearl looks in beach scenes or any kind of ocean scenes. Just looks really, really nice. And the shells as well. A lot of people like to collect some really beautiful shells, and I do as well. But something about these broken shells, there's so much character in them, and I just love them, especially for, you know, putting into my artwork. And now I'm adding some, just a mix of the same sort of pigment, but more of that blue, and it just turned out to be a little bit too dark. It looks okay now, and it's quite transparent. You will see it at the end of the video how transparent some parts of this cutting board are, and you know, you can see through them. Yeah, you will see what happens. And that's just me. I just tend to overdo things sometimes. So now it's been about 6 hours and the resin is still a little bit tacky, and I decided to go in with my clear and my white and a little bit of that transparent turquoise, and just, you know, putting that turquoise in around where the sand part is, because it just looks like there's a bit of water in there. Now I'm going in with my white, and I really wanted a thin drizzle, but it wasn't happening. So I've got these thick lines which I ended up sanding off most of them afterwards, and you can see how they are sort of bleeding into each other, and that's because the resin underneath is still quite tacky, and if I applied too much of the heat, you know, it would have just burnt that part of the resin. So yeah, I just could see now that I've made a mistake. It still looks pretty funky, but not what I wanted at all. So I'm trying to blend some of the colors a little bit with my spoon, just going back and forth and just toning down that white a little bit, and then adding some highlights just to make them kind of stand a little bit and not look too awkward. So this is the next day, or the following day. You can't see it here, but a lot of the resin I have sanded down with my little mouse sander. So it's kind of a triangular shape, and I could go sideways and dig into some areas and create like grooves. And now I'm just adding some more color to tone down the white that I didn't manage to sand all of it off, you know, because it was a bit too deep, and also to tone down a little bit of that dark blue that turned out to be, you know, a different color to what I had in mind. So at the moment it's looking not too bad, and just adding more clear. I have painted the masking fluid around the edges and at the bottom, so I'm not worried about any drippage or anything like that. So yeah, that's about it, and shortly you will see what's coming next. Good morning everyone, here we are finally. This is done and I'm happy with it now. So now what I've got to do is I just got to be a little bit careful with this side just yet, because it is kind of fresh, but I just want to show you the back. I'm going to just peel off this and off the sides, so it's coming off real easy. Now you can use the PVA glue or the Elmer's glue for this. Don't have to use this liquid or fluid masking fluid. You don't have to use that. I use it because it dries real quick, and I like that. I don't want to have to wait for the PVA glue to dry up on me, but it's coming off real easy. Now the test is going to be this here. Now let's see if I can get that off, and it doesn't look like it's coming off, and I'm just wondering if I had enough there. Never mind, I'm just gonna go around the inside as well, inside that hole. It's all coming off real easy. It's just, I'm fiddling because I don't want to touch the bottom side, you know, that's why. It's all coming off, no problem at all. Now this bit here, this is going to be a tricky part, and let's see if I can lift it. I really hope I do. Just if you, oops, that popped off. If you please don't tell me that it doesn't look like I have any there. Bugger, how did I miss that? No, there's none of this stuff underneath there. Ah, dear hell. Okay, so I'm gonna have to just, what about this bit here? This has it. This one here, I can see that there's stuff there. Yeah, if I could put my nail under there, because I don't want to damage the back of it either, but I think I might have to sand it. See, I can see that this, here we go. Ah! Alright, so that's off. And that's come right off, see? But this one, that's just that one. Isn't it always the way? There's always got to be that one. That definitely, I can see that there's no tape under there. Hang on, let me see, maybe. And that's it, all of it is off now. Just go around and detail it a little bit. Fix that little drop there. Definitely going to have to. Luckily, it's only that tiny little spot. So what I'll do is I'll sand that down flat. I might even warm it a little bit and cut it. And then sand it, and then just touch it up with just a little bit of clear gloss. Just a varnish, just in that tiny little spot. So there you have it. I'm really happy with this piece, considering that it was, you know, a fiddly one where I made a mistake. Oopsie, sorry, I didn't mean to bump you. But I like it a lot. Go that way so you can see better. What do you think? Get a little bit closer so you can see all the little guys. And that sand, and you can really see the depth where the sand is dipping into the water, and it's getting a bit deeper there. And my little pearl, it's totally submerged now, but you can still see that it's a pearl in that little shell. Yeah, let me know what you think. Always a pleasure doing this for you guys, and I'll see you again in another video. Bye for now. Hey you guys, it actually popped out. I tried to cut it with this knife and I dug right into it and it popped out. I've got a little mark here just from my knife, but that's nothing. You can hardly even see it. So there you go. Phew.